break down not only some of the products that we can go through when it comes to what we're looking at, whether that's velocity, to show you some of that rotation, but I am also here with one of my meteorologist counterparts, Jason Michael, and we're going to break it down for you together the only way we know how. Jace, give us a little bit more information. The National Weather Service obviously just put this out for us. Yeah,
they did down in Wayne and Holmes County. If we want to go to a correlation coefficient right now, Pate, if you can pull that up, it's showing that they have some debris signature, down in this area. This is near Shreve, so a little small village down there in Wayne County, showing a little bit of a debris signature indicating that there's possibly been some a touchdown of a tornado there. That means that that system is now had come in contact with the ground and possibly caused a little bit of damage down there as well. This is all leading towards the east at this hour. So as of right now, this tornado warning storm is moving east at about 30 miles per hour. This is near Millersburg. So far, again, it is radar indicated, severe thunderstorm warning capable of producing a tornado. Despite it being radar indicated, the National Weather Service is saying that they do have some possibility of some debris on the ground here. So you can see where Peyton is circling. That is the green indicating they're rotating, that side of the cell is rotating towards the radar. And on the back side of that is rotating away from the radar. So this is a very textbook indication that there's some rotation that is happening within this thunderstorm cell. Peyton, if we could pull up the shear, and then we'll go back to the velocity there, and then we'll look at the radar. And then
some perspective as to the wind speeds just associated with this too. So this is just what we're picking up. This is also radar estimated, so it gives us an idea. And this is very far away from the radar site to give you a little bit more detail, but there are gusty winds associated with this movement, whether there's rotation or not. Along this line, it's a cold front that is kind of continuing to make this atmosphere a little bit more unstable and seeing that rotation capable because of the hot and humid air kind of colliding with the cool air. So once again, I'll switch that product for you, Jay. Did you say shear you'd prefer?
Yeah, we could start off with the shear here. And also one thing of note, remember that severe thunderstorm warning that was for Ashland County? Folks, that has been allowed to expire from National Weather Service. So we got one down, and we have this tornado warning storm to talk about here. So look at this. This is near Ripley, west of Holmesville, Salt Creek, just to the east or near the vicinity of Mount Eaton. Is where this tornado warning storm is at this hour. Now, Peyton, if we can go to velocity.
We'll swap it right over. I do want to point out, though, that anyone who's right around Holmesville, as well as not too far in between Holmesville and Millersburg, those are those spots in between there. I just want to zoom in and give you a little bit more connotation and kind of context as to where we're seeing the rotation and who should really be taking cover. I think anywhere just to the west there, though, of Ripley as well as Shreve, I may mispronounce a few of these spots here. You are most likely A-OK if you are west of those cities. If you are in those two cities that I just listed off, please be in your safe spot. But Jay, I'll go back, and would velocity still okay for you right now?
Velocity, yeah, the velocity is okay. Where Peyton was just saying that rotation is happening here, the differing winds towards and away from the radar. So if we can widen that a little bit for you as well, Pate, okay, where you see that, a little bit of rotation there, a little bit of rotation right here. This is that tornado warning box, okay, down near Wayne and Holmes County. Now let's put on radar and see what that looks like. Yeah. Light show here. Light show's happening here. Now let's see if there's any hail associated with this as well, which no doubt I bet there is.
Yep, there's a hail core just south of that tornado warned, or at least the majority of that hail core is south of that tornado warned box. So we've got an inch there.
Yeah, this is a very strong, intense storm here, moving eastward at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. So this is some pretty sizable hail attached with this here. This is near 514, just to the south and also east of our friends there in Elville. Salt Creek, Mount Eaton, if we can put on if we can go to radar again, Pate, and then put on a timing tracker for this.
I was just going to say, let's time it out for the folks that are watching at home and wondering when this will be knocking on their doorstep if it's not already. So this storm, once again, is moving to, let me time this out for us. We've got to work a little bit and put in some work in between to kind of give you all this. So once again, this tornado warning is in effect until 9:30. This system is moving due east at about 30 miles per hour. So I'm going to toss on a tracker for you and change the duration and speed here for us too. So this is now set to kind of withstand that time frame that I just gave you. I may have to zoom this out just a tad bit, but this will give us at least the nearest of windows too within that warn box. So I think first and foremost, you can see Salt Creek is up here, Millersburg, Trail, all these spots, at least starting right around Salt Creek. That's at about 9:05. So we got about a minute, 2 minutes here or there for you to be hearing some of this rainfall at least, as well as Millersburg closer to 9:10, and then all the way to Trail. That's a little bit farther out. That's almost 9:30. So that's almost at the window of this tornado warned kind of box and the warning in general and how long the National Weather Service wants us to be communicating this information with you when it goes to seeing some of that rotation. We'll go ahead and switch to the product back because once again, we have all of this at the tip of our fingers and we can go ahead and change from one thing to another. The area that we're watching for the most concern of radar indicated rotation, because that's one of the ways we get some of this information, is through the National Weather Service. It's through EMS. It's through folks on the ground, trained spotters too. They give us what they're seeing and we can deliver that message to you via your wonderful TV right now. So yep, right around Ripley, Holmesville, just know that all these spots within that purple polygon, you should be in your safe place. So that's Salt Creek as well as Mount Eden, as well as Walnut Creek. And once again, those locations a little bit farther south, closer to Millersburg. This is for parts of Holmes and Wayne County at the moment. I also want to toss on the intensity of rainfall here because this has been very important as well. We have been talking about this cold front kind of triggering a few things when it comes to all the threats we could see potentially here, and all of them have been up on the board, whether that was gusty winds, heavy rainfall, frequent lightning, hail, and even that brief isolated tornado that we could potentially be seeing as it's radar indicated right now. We're waiting on confirmation if we can get any of that whatsoever, but I'm going to toss up just an idea as to how much rain is falling within an hour's time frame. Obviously, this is not happening in any given instant, but it's giving you an idea as to how heavy that rain is coming down. Now, I don't want you to go look out the window and inspect this for yourself. You can do that after the storm is all clear, and we give you that all clear here. But we've got rainfall rates over 1.5 inches an hour here, close to almost 2 inches at times. So this is producing some very, very heavy rainfall in a very short amount of time. I'm going to toss it back to radar, and I will also toss it back to my friend at the key right now. That is Jason Michael. But once again, this has been a light show. I should actually query that for us to just see, but I'll toss it over to you, and then you can tell us how many lightning strikes we're seeing from here, Jace.
Yeah, this is a perfect time for us to kind of reset across Northeast Ohio why this is happening, what's going to happen, and why all of this has kind of been bubbling up here across Northeast Ohio. Of course, much of the country, over 200 million people have been dealing with the intense heat across the lower 48. You have all of this warm, soupy air that's happening right now. You have a potent cold front coming in from the north, courtesy of that jet stream retreating up to the north. That's allowed all of this very warm, tropical-like air to come north into the Buckeye State here in Northeast Ohio, and this cold front is sort of knocking all of that right on out of the area, and it's doing it with some force. That forcing is happening down towards the south near Wayne and also Holmes County at this point. You remember earlier, if you were with us, where it was over near Ashland and Richland. So as it's moving south and east, it's carrying with it and lofting even more unstable air higher up in the atmosphere. Behind that, though, things are beginning to settle down. We've had some sunshine here outside of our studios here on 13th and Lakeside. Our friends for Tuscarawas County, we're going to keep you in the loop and keep looking out for you to see if this is going to be moving a little bit farther into your northwestern corridor of Tuscarawas County. Tuscarawas and also Carroll County right now is not under a severe thunderstorm watch. However, this doesn't mean that they won't get anything out of the storm system at all. This just indicates that earlier in the day, National Weather Service did not see that it would have the propensity to turn into a severe weather storm. So as of right now, most of the steam is losing itself up here towards Portage, Trumbull, and also Ashtabula County. There's enough forcing happening right here and rotation within this particular cluster of storms that is indicating that there could likely be some rotation happening. Earlier, right before we came back on with you, National Weather Service did indicate that there is possibility of some debris from this storm cell. we are awaiting to see if there's confirmation from that, or at least where that confirmation has come from. It could be from an emergency manager. It could be for from a train spotter, a ham radio spotter, or someone like that. But they did indicate that there could be a debris signature associated with this as well. All of these counties you can see shaded here in yellow if you're just tuning in. This is a severe thunderstorm watch. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, including Holmes and also portions of Wayne County. But also within that severe thunderstorm warning is a tornado warning with it as well. This is why we are sort of hyper alert here for you on this Wednesday evening. This little box here, Peyton, if you can go in on that where that green outline is, someone at home might be like, hey Jay, Peyton, what is that? Well, Peyton is going to pull that up and show you what exactly that is. I believe that could be something associated with some very heavy rain there, Peyton.
Yep, so it wants me to kind of pick up that severe thunderstorm watch box behind it because we have all of those layered alerts in place right now, but I can tell you that has to do with rain. So we've seen a lot of rain come down. So that's either some sort of aerial flood advisory or some warning in place there. That just means we've gotten a lot of water coming down in a good clip in a very short window of time. But I also do want to zoom you back out because I wouldn't be too shocked if the National Weather Service here goes ahead and expires some of that severe thunderstorm watch, especially for those areas beyond this cold front. So everything that you're seeing, let me toss up a line real quick so you can kind of get an idea and kind of work with me. I'm actually going to use a pointer. So everything that's right here I'm pointing to on your screen, everything behind it in this area, you're basically in the clear right now. Yes, it might be starting to break out in some sunshine, but the cold front is actually starting to push through the area. So there's a change happening there. So I wouldn't be shocked if the National Weather Service goes ahead and scales back the severe thunderstorm watch for parts of Lorain, Cuyahoga Lake, as well as Geauga and even Medina County here very shortly. And I wouldn't be too shocked if they go ahead and just magically toss Tuscarawas and Carroll County into that severe thunderstorm watch too. But once again, we are on your TV screens for a tornado warning. It is radar indicated at the moment, and it only exists right now for parts of Holmes as well as Wayne County. So you can see it right here on your screen. I'm actually going to toss off sweeping radar so you can get a better idea as to who's involved here. Everywhere from about Ripley to Holmesville, Salt Creek, Mount Eaton, Walnut Creek, as well as Millersburg. Those folks in that purple polygon, you should be in your safe place. That means an interior room, lower level center of your home. I'm going to go ahead and toss back up here velocity really quickly because this gives us an idea based on rotation if we see any general trends, some weakening happening, all the above, because it can happen. We can see a tornado warning expire earlier than it's actually expected to last, or that duration is kind of posted for. Right now, the duration of this one, we're about 12 minutes into it. It extends for about 18 more, so it's set to expire at about 9:30. When it comes to rotation, we look for two different contrasting colors here. They're Christmas colors. They're green and they are red, and it gives you an idea as to what's happening. So where we're seeing, I think, Jason, you can speak to this too, a little bit of that weakening kind of happening. There's not a huge couplet, but there's still a little bit more of a concern there when it comes to a broad area of rotation. I do want to point out that our radar beam, you can kind of see it sweep here every once in a while. I'll erase this and zoom on out and give you a little bit more perspective here. As I zoom you out, you get an idea as to where a radar site is. It's all the way up here, folks, in Cuyahoga County. So the beam of a radar is the lowest to the ground, the closest it actually is to set beam. So we've got it kind of lofting up into the air. So we have to play that into effect too and keep that into our consideration. And that's why viewer photos, pictures, videos, train spotter input, EMS on the ground, that goes a long way. That does not mean we want you folks that are in that tornado warn zone to go outside and hop out with your phone and tell us what's going on. But those who are ahead of it, sometimes they capture some things. Jason's just going to run behind me real quickly and fix some things on his screen as we chat about this together. But it gives you an idea as to how heavily we rely as meteorologists on your input at home, because it is important. Your voice is important. We want it to be heard, and we want to communicate and kind of make you safe too in this situation. Obviously, your safety is first and foremost, and it is our job to keep you safe too. So we want you to know that at home, we are with you. We are doing this with you too. You are not alone in any situation whatsoever. And when it comes to this, I know not everyone across Northeast Ohio is involved, and this might be putting a damper on the programming you were hoping to watch right now. But this is an act of public service, and we have to do this for folks. This is the rainfall rates again. This is honestly one of the most serious factors when it comes to threats of the situation too, because that leads to some localized flooding. We do not want you to drive through any flooded roadways too. But once again, velocity is obviously the most important when it comes to looking at rotation. Jason, are you seeing anything different? What would you like to tell folks at home?
Yeah, I think in addition to that rainfall you were talking about, Peyton, which is great news for us, the hail, the possibility for hail as well. Just to give you guys a sort of a little bit of a lesson here in terms of like the size of hail. Usually when it's like a quarter, perhaps up to 3/4 of an inch, that's anywhere between a pea and also penny size. And also about an inch is usually around a quarter size as well. We don't have so much hail attached to this thunderstorm system, this tornado warned storm that's down in Wayne and Holmes County right now. So this is leading towards the possibility that this storm is kind of dying down a little bit. And I think that it's likely going to be happening here over the next 10 minutes or so. This is why National Weather Service just only allowed it to go to about 9:30. I'm seeing less and less shear associated with this. And I think we'll be allowed to expire this warning for the tornado down in Waynes and Holmes within the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. As we were saying earlier, Pate, before we went to you, that green outline that you saw earlier, guys, down near, let's see here, that was near Ashland and also Richland.
I'll go ahead and move it over so folks can see.
Sweet.
Yep, just give me a sec.
That is a flood advisory, as Peyton was just telling us. That is a flood advisory going through about 11:45. So there's been a lot.
Just neon green outline there.
There's been a lot of rainfall that has been falling down in this area. So no doubt we are losing daylight. And that is also going to allow the storm system to kind of die down a little bit. You don't have sort of that heating that is happening that you would normally get between, say, 3, 5, 6 p.m., the hottest part of the day. But also because we're losing daylight and there's a flooding possibility in this area, our back roads, our secondary roadways, they could have some overrunning water. So you know the drill. Turn around, don't drown.
And you know what, Jay? I wouldn't be too shocked because this tornado warning that we're currently talking about for parts of Holmes and Wayne County, I wouldn't be too shocked because it followed suit just with that case prior as to that green polygon you were showing when it came to that heavy rainfall, whether that was that flood advisory, that is extended upon or a new one is kind of drawn over this situation after we're set to expire. But once again, that tornado warning is why we are on your screen. That is why I am interrupting any of the programming you are watching right now. Jason and myself, we are trying to do an act of service right now, and it's communicating just to keep you safe in an instant's notice when it comes to any radar indicated rotation or a tornado that could become something, because it's not right now. It's just radar indicated. That means we see some spin based on a few things. The National Weather Service keeps us informed. We keep you informed. We communicate back and forth together. So everyone in this purple polygon from Salt Creek to Holmesville to Millersburg to Walnut Creek, Ripley, anywhere that's right across 83, 741 too, you should be in your safe place. If you know someone who's maybe traveling home from work at this time and headed in this general direction, give them a call. If you can hear my voice from your safe location, because that's where you should be, just know that this is ongoing. And the National Weather Service just actually scaled back this warning. So this is an improving sign here, but could also be expanded upon if they continue to see some of this rotation. Salt Creek, Mount Eaton, Walnut Creek still included, but Ripley as well as Holmesville, Millersburg, you're almost in the clear Millersburg, but Ripley and Holmesville, you are good to go. No concerns. You can come out of that safe place. But those folks from Salt Creek to Mount Eaton as part of Holmes County also still included in this. Walnut Creek, as I mentioned before. But I do want to toss back on velocity, see if we're seeing anything. And, you know, Jay, it is pretty weak in nature, but I think it's still right this general area just north of Walnut Creek that we're kind of focused on. Yeah,
it is something that we still need to keep a close eye on as well, because we still have that differing in wind speed and also that wind direction and also height as well with the gusty winds that are happening within this area. One of the major concerns that we're dealing with still is not only just this tornado possibility, but also the heavy rain and also the lightning associated with it as well. There were some earlier reports that there were some power outages happening for various areas across Northeast Ohio. If you're one of those people, oh, good, you put that on there, Pate. If you guys are one of those people that have had some power outages, give us an alert and let us know what you are experiencing in your area. If you do have a power outage or so, hopefully you got your mobile device and you're able to watch us and stream us there. But this is also just a good PSA reminder. Whenever there is some active weather that's happening, we always want to make sure we keep these jimmies right here plugged in and charged up in the event that we lose power in our homes as well. So our mobile devices are very good. You can also track the radar right along with us on our 3 News app. So don't forget that. It's free in the App Store. So you can see here, Hayesville, Spouter reported some minor flooding on back roads. This is what we're talking about here. Also encountered very strong winds, but no damage seen at this time. Good news there, but again, flooding is a very big concern as we're losing daylight and we have a very heavy rain that's moved through this area. As of right now, you can see that is where the heaviest rain is falling, down in this area near that tornado warning storm. See here, and is that indicating a severe thunderstorm warning that has been extended out ahead of that, Peyton?
Yep, it looks like it. Yep, we'll throw up a time frame on that. So yep, that's a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of
the New Philadelphia, Dover area.
Yep, and this goes until 10 o'clock. So that's ahead of that little section of that tornado warning zone we've been showing you. So yeah, there's a lot of things at play, and all of this is associated with a moving cold front situation here. And we've been telling you about this. We told you it was coming. It was headed in our general direction. I'm going to toss. You obviously can see the lightning feature on your screen. You can kind of point out every single little strike there. It gives us an idea as to the craziness of what's happening up in the sky. It's electric, to say the least. I'm going to toss on just the area of our surface map. So it gives you an idea as to where the cold front is, and the reason that we are having these storms is because of set cold front. It is happening to move. It's actually just approaching parts of Erie and Huron County. And what that does, it's collided with a hot, steamy air mass. And that's why we are seeing some of this energy kind of build and these storms start to fire. So yes, we've been telling you for about 24 hours now that these storms were likely to be strong to even severe. And we've hit that threshold, and we've hit it several times, folks, across Northeast Ohio. So yes, there have been a multitude of different alerts in place, and you're probably wondering what those are, because folks are still dealing with some. You're seeing the yellows, you're seeing oranges, and you're seeing the purple. The purple, first and foremost, is that tornado warn box for parts of Holmes as well as Wayne County. And that has actually been scaled back to, I believe it's just Holmes now, right, Jace? I think it's just Holmes. But anyways, the lighter yellow color is that severe thunderstorm watch that is posted until about 11 p.m. tonight. I think the National Weather Service will go ahead and scale part of that back. And then we have that new severe thunderstorm warning that's in place for parts of Tuscarawas and Carroll County. And that goes until 10 p.m. tonight. So Jace, what would you like me to head on over to?
Yeah,
would you like shear? Would you like?
Let's stick with this one here,
Okay.
Peyton. If you can remove radar just for a split second here.
I'm also, after we do this, I'd love to toss up our temperatures too to see that contrast. So
yeah, that would be
go
good.
ahead
Our
and
temperatures and also our dew
sweeping
point.
off. So yes, still parts of Holmes and parts of Wayne. It's a very, very slim chunk there though.
And they've also indicated that there is some rotation. Okay, obviously, a tornado warning storm, there's some rotation there, but it's becoming less defined, but there's still rotation present near Route 62 near Berlin and also Weinsberg with this storm. So we're going to stick with this and see if they allow that to extend further south into Tuscarawas County as of right now. But near County Road 1, this is near State Route 514 near Shreve in Holmes County. That is the only report so far that they've had a tree that has come down because they've had some heavy winds there. Obviously, when you have heavy rain falling, that soil is going to get very, very moist. You get the high winds coming over. You can have trees topple. You can have telephone poles topple as well because that soil gets more and more moist, and that loses its sort of strength as well. So with the heavy rain, again, near Holmesville and the rotation that's happening south near Holmes and also Holmes and also Waynes County. This is why we're going to keep this up here because there's still rotationing happening here, but you can already see our current temperatures are now falling off. They're going back into the 70s, still in the upper 70s as far as Elyria is concerned. 74 degrees, no doubt, near Worcester, but look at this. Akron-Kenton has not had as much rainfall and gusty winds as our friends there in Worcester. So this is where you have nearly a 12-degree spread between surface temperatures there. 84 for Dover, 83 still out in Youngstown. Atmosphere is stabilizing, my friends, as we're looking back over towards the north and east. No activity is happening back here. Cuyahoga County, you're clearing out here. Portions of Lake Erie, Geauga County, Portage County, Summit County, it looks like you're clearing out as well. Got a little bit of a bullseye there. The radar is trying to keep itself together here, no doubt. Don't even mind that here, but we still have a lot of humid air in and around the area, okay? We're not going to get sort of our dew point temperatures back into the 40s or 50s, which is excellent for us here in Northeast Ohio. 60s and 70s, we're talking about Texas, we're talking about Louisiana, we're talking about Mississippi, Alabama. We're not going to scale back just as much because after all, we're still at the end of July here, but we're still going to keep a little bit of humidity around leading through the end of the week. This is a stronger cold front than what we're usually having for this time of year, but this is also warm, moist air that we're also not used to having for this time of year this far north in the lower 48. So with this severe thunderstorm warning still overstretching south in Tuscarawas County, also extending a little bit farther over towards the east in Carroll County as well, we're still watching this tornado warned storm near Millersburg and also Walnut Creek at this hour. Let's hit the velocity winds again, Peyton, see what's happening there.
You got it. Okay, so there's velocity for us, Jace.
Yeah, okay. It's not as impressive.
It's not super organized, but it doesn't mean that those winds are not strong associated with it. And I think that's the thing as to why there's now that severe thunderstorm warning in place for parts of Tuscarawas, Carroll counties, as well as parts of Holmes and Wayne County too, because the winds are so strong. That is that main threat, that kind of trigger for a severe thunderstorm warning to be issued. That's at least one of the parameters that it can be. And I mean, it's moving at a good clip too. So this is not going to be a very slow mover, but over its movement, even though it is pretty quick, it is going to dump a whole lot of rain. It's going to produce a light show of an activity. And yes, we've seen hail at times. It hasn't been the most impressive hail situation we've had. But once again, the tornado warning is why we keep talking to you. That's why I'm interrupting your programming. That's why Jason is too. That's why we're here together. Obviously, we'd love to send you back to your programming, but we've got another 5 minutes together as long as a tornado warning is posted. If not, obviously continued, because that's obviously a possibility. This goes until 9:30, folks. So yep, we've got 5 more minutes to kind of talk about this situation together, dig into it some more. But as it goes for hail, we've seen the hail core actually outside of that tornado warning zone. So folks who are not necessarily even included in that Holmes as well as Wayne County tornado warn box, that purple polygon on your screen, that's outside of it. So this is actually closer to Clark as well as Kilbuck too, that hail core that is producing some of that larger size hail too. Now smaller hail obviously encompassed within some of that tornado warn zone, but the biggest of activity is actually outside of it. When it comes to just how the situation is likely to unfold, is this system is all moving in the same direction. So those folks that could potentially be seeing some of this activity next would be the zones of Tuscarawas, as well as even it would include parts of Tuscarawas, but also even those a little bit farther to the north too. So right around, let's see, Strasburg as well as Dover too. Those could be the folks that are at play next when it comes to some of this tornado warned kind of activity. If the National Weather Service says, hey, go ahead and continue this activity too, because we see something on radar that's a little squirrely. But Jace, what would you like to break down next? We can dive into a few things. I'll actually toss back up that rainfall intensity, because I think once again, we're likely to see the transition not only from maybe the expiration of this tornado warning, but the addition of that aerial flood advisory or a flash flood warning too. Yeah,
I feel like there's many things at play here. You got the tornado warn storm as well, radar indicated. You also have the heavy rain. You also have the flood advisory that's in effect as well, and you still have the severe thunderstorm watch in effect as well through later on this evening. If we can widen up, because I did notice that they did shave off some more counties of the severe thunderstorm watch.
They actually the National Weather Service just put out that they're set to expire this warning soon, but I want to make sure that we drop this box for you before we go ahead and send you back to programming. We can kind of overview just the general overarching what's happening the rest of tonight for folks before we send them out. But once again, the National Weather Service has keeping us posted. We're keeping you posted. Everyone's in communication today. That purple polygon is still posted, but I'll drop the sweeping radar, give you an idea. Right now, Cleveland is, let's see, that is actually, or we've got about 2 minutes to see if they continue this expiration. I think right now, Jace, your opinion on it, I think the area of broad rotation is not super tight anymore. Obviously, I think the winds, though, kind of take that threshold of why that severe thunderstorm warning is posted for the surrounding areas.
Right. I think this is good news. It's good news, folks, because at one point we thought we might be taking you to bed here on this Wednesday evening with this warning going through about 9:30 here. But as Peyton was just so kindly saying, we believe this is losing its steam here, but we still got that severe thunderstorm warning in effect across this area here. And also you can see where that little bit of an outline there. We could have a little bit more rotation, but as of right now, this box is going to fall off here. No longer a tornado warning in effect for Holmes and also Wayne County. We still have this severe thunderstorm watch box in effect as well. You can see where all these counties kind of shaded here in this mustard color. That flood advisory also in effect through about 11 p.m. this evening for Ashland and also Richland County. So anybody traveling here in these two counties, please be careful. Do not drive in over roads that are having overrunning water. We just really urge you not to do that. Erie, Huron counties, you can go to bed here. Carroll County, I think you might be good as well. All of these counties, north and also west of 71, 76, 90, you're good to go. You're good to go to kind of have your little nightcap here. I think you'll be good here on this Wednesday evening.
Yeah, Jay, the National Weather Service communicated with us that the rotation has moved out of Holmes County and nothing else in that line is immediately concerning, so the tornado warning is allowed to expire. That severe warning, though, ahead of it that we've been talking about for parts of Stark, Tuscarawas, is even parts of Carroll County at the moment, too, and those folks in Holmes, too. You can see there's no more purple polygon, folks, so that means we have no more tornado warning. But those folks in that severe thunderstorm warning polygon of orange there, they are going to deal with some straight line winds, so some stronger wind gusts are possible here and those heavy rainfall rates. But 'tis the time for us to let you go back to programming. If we need to break in, we will continue to do so. We'll keep you posted on air, online with all the latest.